Money doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care that you're tired, unmotivated, or unsure. It doesn't reward effort. It doesn't reward intention. It rewards behavior. Consistent, rational, disciplined behavior. Most people misunderstand this. They believe money follows passion, motivation, or confidence. They wait until they feel ready to act. They delay decisions because something doesn't feel right. They hesitate because they're afraid of being wrong. But feelings are unstable. They change daily, sometimes hourly. One good result makes you overconfident. One loss makes you fearful. If your decisions are built on something that unstable, your outcomes will be unstable too. The market doesn't operate on emotion. It operates on cause and effect. It is a system, and systems don't respond to how you feel. They respond to what you do. You can feel confident and still be completely wrong. You can feel fear and walk away from the best opportunity of your life. Emotions don't increase your accuracy. They distort it. They narrow your perspective. They push you to act fast instead of act right. And once you start reacting instead of thinking, you lose control. Look at the pattern most people follow. They buy when things are rising because it feels safe, because everyone else is buying, because it looks like a guaranteed win. They sell when things are falling because it feels dangerous, because they want to protect what's left, because fear tells them to escape. They follow comfort instead of logic, and the result is predictable. They enter late and exit early. They take small profits and large losses. They repeat the same mistakes again and again. This is not bad luck. This is behavior. And the system rewards the opposite behavior. It rewards the person who can stay calm when others panic. It rewards the one who becomes cautious when others become greedy. It rewards the individual who can separate emotion from decision-making. That ability is discipline. Discipline is not something you feel. It's something you build. It's a structure that replaces emotion with rules. A disciplined person doesn't wake up and ask, "How do I feel about this decision today?" They already decided what to do before the emotion appears. They define their rules in advance when they were calm, objective, and rational. And when the pressure comes, they don't negotiate with themselves. They execute because they understand something most people ignore. Your worst decisions will come when your emotions are strongest. That's why you need rules. Rules like never risk what you can't afford to lose. Never make a decision in a state of panic or excitement. Always think in probabilities, not certainties. Always assume you can be wrong and prepare for it. These rules are simple, but they are powerful because they don't depend on how you feel. The moment you start adjusting your rules based on emotion, you destroy consistency. And without consistency, there is no long-term success. The goal is not to be right every time. That's impossible. The goal is to build a system where being wrong doesn't destroy you, because losing is part of the process. Mistakes are part of the process. Uncertainty is part of the process, but emotional reactions turn small mistakes into large ones. A disciplined investor can be wrong and survive. An emotional one can be right and still lose everything. That's the difference. Over time, every decision you make compounds. If your decisions are emotional, your mistakes will compound. If your decisions are disciplined, your progress will compound. And compounding is what creates real wealth. Not one big win, not one lucky trade, not one perfect opportunity, but a series of small, controlled, intelligent decisions repeated over years. This is where most people fail. They don't lose because they lack intelligence. They lose because they lack control. They chase quick results. They abandon strategy. They change direction based on short-term outcomes. They let one bad experience rewrite their entire approach. They don't stay consistent long enough to see the results of discipline because discipline is slow. It doesn't give you excitement. It doesn't give you instant reward. It often feels boring. Sometimes it even feels wrong because it goes against your instincts. But that's exactly why it works, because most people don't have the patience to follow it. And that creates opportunity for those who do. In any system, especially one as competitive as the market, the advantage doesn't come from doing something complex. It comes from doing simple things consistently when others can't. Anyone can make a good decision when things are easy. But when the pressure increases, when uncertainty rises, when emotions take over, that's where outcomes are decided. That's where discipline separates people. Because in those moments, you have two options: follow your feelings or follow your system. One leads to short-term relief and long-term regret. The other leads to short-term discomfort and long-term results. Money doesn't reward comfort. It rewards correctness. And correctness comes from discipline. So stop asking yourself if you feel ready. Stop waiting for confidence. Stop relying on emotion to guide your decisions. Build principles. Build rules. Build a system that operates independently of how you feel, and then follow it, especially when it's hardest. Because in the end, the market doesn't reward who feels the smartest, the most motivated, or the most confident. It rewards the one who stays rational, while everyone else loses control.